This has been Strictly Ball Business.
Strictly ball business.
Strictly ball business.
I like that video.
Yeah, we're gonna start out talking 5 years from now, a day in the age when I'm, over 30 at this point. Dalton's over 30 at this point, and we're talking about who's the top 5 or top 4 teams in the West and the top 4 teams in the East at this point. So, what do you think?
Yeah, what do you want to start with? West, East?
Let's start with the East. I want to
East.
hear, I want to get the elephant out of the room with you.
Yeah. East is a little easier. You're slipping. Your camera's slipping.
Oh,
Yeah,
no,
I
it's
see you
slipping.
turning. No, East was a lot easier for me. So first off, I have the best team as the Celtics. They're going to be the number 1 seed. I mean, whether it's seed or not, I think they're going to be the best team in 5 years in the East. Tatum and Brown are just entering their prime, and they've already made a finals together. So this duo, I really think they're going to be together for a long time. There's no reason they shouldn't be. They gel. Obviously what they're doing works if it gets them to the finals. So it's just personnel around them is how far they'll go. But I certainly think they're going to be the best team in the East.
Yeah, I mean, certainly, calling them as the best team in the East is not a bad shot. I've got them in my top 4. I mean, not sure if they're going to be number 1 or not in 5 years, but certainly think they're going to be within that top half of the East, fighting for that 1 seed. And as long as they don't break things up here and mess that up, I think they're going to continue to grow. My only thing is, if they don't get a championship before that 5 years is up, they probably make some moves here. And do we know if they're better from those moves? That's my big question.
Yeah, I mean, they have a lot of older guys. Marcus Smart will be well out of his prime by then. Horford's probably not going to be in the NBA. I mean, Robert Williams he could very well still be around. I mean, he's just drafted a couple years ago, so he's part of that young core as well that we keep forgetting. So there's certainly a lot of ways. I mean, they still have all their picks too, which is miraculous that they made it to the finals and they gave away no picks. They gave away 2 seconds for Fournier, which was a rental, but who cares? Magic aren't going to do anything with those. But no, yeah, so they're pretty great. I didn't foresee any trades or when they're going to break up or anything. I just kind of took the young core and how elevated they would be in 5 years. But my next team, I think, is the second best team, the newly gathered Cavaliers. I have high expectations for them this season. Just get Darius Garland, or Coral kind of, but more Darius Garland and Donovan Mitchell together, both all-stars, both on this team. That's going to be great. And we haven't even seen Mobley enter his prime, not even close to his prime. And that's what puts them into the second best team for me.
Yeah, I have the Cavs in my top 4 as well. I think as long as that core stays together of Donovan Mitchell, Evan Mobley, and Darius Garland, and hopefully you got the other guys around him too, but mainly those 3 guys, if they're continuing to excel, I see no reason why they wouldn't be top 4 in the East.
Yeah, I mean, the culture they've built just since LeBron left aside from a few rough patches with just Kevin Love, but everything, it seems to be very positive. I mean, all the young guys look like they're having fun. They don't hear any complaining from their side. I mean, you get Jared Allen. All the guys get along. So I'm certainly with it.
Yeah, I think, they've certainly bought into the culture there, and they're building a great squad. And as long as they have a winning season this year, I think they're only going to continue to be happier. 5 years is just a really long ways away. So it's hard to predict, how it'll all end up.
True.
Is Jared Allen still there in 5 years? I don't really see that.
Yeah, I don't see that. I think Mobley will be moved to center by then. I think he'll be the main center, and
they'll go something else eventually. Get rid of Allen when he starts deteriorating at some point, because big men simply they start to have injury problems later in their career, and they're getting Jared Allen for some great years, and right now he's a fantastic player, and for his value makes a ton of sense. But that wall can come fast, and we've seen it happen with big men before, where they start getting injured or they just fall off in terms of having that extra bounce to get as many rebounds and to bang in the paint every night. So we'll see the longevity on that. But I certainly have high hopes overall in the team.
Yeah, for Allen's sake, I don't think he's going to leave the team due to injury. I think it's going to be once they start seeing him infringe on what Mobley can extend. They're going to be like, all right, it's time for Mobley to take up the center. Like, he's figured it out. I think it'll be more of a development thing. Like, he's kind of like a placeholder so Mobley can figure it out completely defensively. Which, as a big man, we've seen Mo Bamba have all the tools and he just couldn't get it. You have to be a smart player to play defensively, and Jared Allen does. But Mobley obviously has the tools to be better. So, who do you have for your third team? Who's the next best?
So I had the Celtics and Cavs in my top 4. I have the Bucks here as well.
Bucks.
I do think Giannis is still going to be there. Hopefully, that's kind of what I'm making this bet on. And you put anyone around him, I think you're going to have a top 4 team.
Yeah.
They got obviously
that's a good
aging
point.
vets, but I think they're going to be able to reshuffle.
That's a good point. I didn't put him in there. I'd put him as an honorable mention just because of the uncertainty of everyone but Giannis. It's fair to say Giannis alone will make him a top 4 seed. That's fair. It's just I was so uncertain if Middleton would even be on this team or if his decline would start. Drew Holiday, I don't think will be on the team in 5 years. I don't think he'll be in the NBA in 5 years. Brooke Lopez is gone. The only guy is like Portis and Grayson Allen, and that doesn't convince. That's not enough roster talent for me to say definitively that they'll be a top 4. Giannis alone, though, makes them certainly in the conversation.
I trust the Bucks to be able to put a solid team around Giannis at that point. They're going to have money freed up from, either one of those guys or both if Holiday and Middleton do leave eventually. And while they're great players, I think you can find some solid guys around Giannis. Not enough to win you a championship in that quick of a reshuffle, but I think to get a top 4 seed, I trust Giannis enough at that point. He'll be well into his prime. He might even be better than he is today.
Yeah. No, yeah, for sure. I mean, hopefully he's won a couple MVPs by then, but my third team I had was the Hawks. I fully trust Trae Young. I mean, whether John Collins is on there or not, I don't know if he'll be there in 5 years, but DeJounte Murray and Trae Young, that's enough offense, creation that I'm just so excited to see. John Collins is great. I just said that, but they have a bunch of guys. I really like, oh no, I forget his name. Oh no.
What, Hunter?
DeAndre Hunter. I really like him, and he's nobody talks about him as much. He's a sneaky 17, 18 point per game scorer that can play great defense. So that core alone really puts it over for me. One of the best two-way cores minus Trae Young.
Yeah, no, that's a fair pick. I think, that's kind of the more wild one that you have, hoping that they continue to accelerate. And of course, they were in the Eastern Conference Finals only a couple years ago. So it's not that inconceivable. But I actually have the Toronto Raptors in this spot because I just trust their front office and their coaching more. And I think Scotty Barnes is going to end up being a superstar in this league. And they've got other great players around them too, like Fred VanVleet, hopefully still playing at that point. He'll, be on his last leg, but I think he'll still be okay maybe. If not, I think that they'll find somebody in the draft, hopefully. And I think Gary Trent Jr. has some good promise. And, I just have full faith in that front office to put a great team around Scotty.
Yeah, I'm just so uncertain who their guard would have been, but Scotty, Siakam, OG, all those guys, great young core. They're going to be great in 5 years. They didn't make my top 5, but just because it's really only those 3 around them, they're still so uncertain at the center. They're still so uncertain at point guard, even though they have VanVleet. They just don't really have that elite playmaker. Sure, could be Scotty, and that's all you need. But we'll get there. I mean, they're certainly there. I wasn't totally convinced Siakam. I can't believe he'll still be there in 5 years. Him or OG. I think one of those guys are gone. Period.
I agree with that, but I also see them getting reputable value in return. And Toronto in the past has made smart draft picks, so I trust them to make good picks with what they get in return.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, they're a great 4. They were my 5 on the list. I just didn't include them in my top 4. But my top 4, my 4th, is the Orlando Magic.
Oh no!
You know it. I gotta. I really think they're gonna be something. I think they have so much young talent, and I think Paolo is gonna be a great talent in this league. I certainly think he's gonna be a superstar, and he has minimum at least 2 other all-star caliber type players next to him. Where Wendell Carter, who I think this next season we're about to see an all-star type season. He probably won't make an all-star game, but he'll have all the numbers to justify it. And Wagner, I have no doubt, will get there, put up those Tobias Harris type numbers with better defense. So if you already have guys like that, and Cole Anthony is going to be a 6th man of the year candidate once he hits his prime, just like J-Cap. And I mean, I like Markelle Fultz. I don't think Markelle Fultz, Isaac, or any of those other guys will still be on the team. Bamba definitely won't be, but if they are, I think that's still part of it. I mean, all those guys, their whole roster is part of their young core, 25 and under. So I really think they can get to that 4th. They have nothing but potential. We just got to see some of this talent show through the season.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. I think they certainly have lots of potential, and in 5 years, that would make sense for them to be competing by that point, because if they're not by then, they're probably trading some of the guys away because they were busts.
and they're rebuilding again.
And they're rebuilding again. Yeah. So, yeah, if they're not in the playoffs in 5 years, they're rebuilding again. So, for your sake, I hope you were right.
Yeah,
but you know what, man?
Like and subscribe. We like talking basketball. You guys like hearing about basketball. It's simple as that. That's it.